This is more of a lighthearted video. It kind of dawned on me. Like I mentioned, the in the last video, just briefly, the zombies comment or whatever, and then I know that in the Second Amendment board that I have on Pinterest, I have quite a few pictures pinned, and there are like comments and little statements, of course, all joking statements with regard to the whole zombie thing, and the zombie thing is kind of like a I don't know, prepping community. It's kind of an ongoing joke thing. It's more of a ha 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 thing. It's really sad that basically preppers in the prepping community in general has just been looked upon as, I guess, this fringe element, clinging paranoid, in a paranoid manner, clinging to guns and whatever else. It's kind of ridiculous. But specifically with regard to zombies, or so-called, zombies, we'll put that in quote marks. Most preppers, or at least, I know myself, and I'm sure a lot of others, maybe even some of you out there, are aware. I mean, we know, especially those of us that, you know, live in areas that, people are going to come across. If you're like in a suburb and you're deciding that you're just going to hunker down in your house or whatever, most of us know that people are going to knock on the door and ask for help. I mean, even if you're in a remote location, you realize that there is a possibility that someone will stumble across where you're at, for those out there with bug out locations or alternate locations, that someone may possibly stumble upon where you're at and knock on your door and ask for help. I know myself, I try to get as much as I can in preparation. I mean, because we all are aware that it's going to happen. So when you hear, a prepper make a zombie comment or whatever, it's not, for those who are not familiar or for those who look upon preppers or the prepping community as a subculture or a bunch of kooks. If you hear a prepper make a comment about a zombie, please don't. I mean, it's a joke. It's an ongoing ha ha ha, jokey thing within the prepper community. Most of us, myself included out here, realize that we are our brother's keepers. We have to do, we are bound by our faith, and for those of us who have faith, and for those of us who don't, we're bound by the fact that we are decent human beings. I'm bound by, my faith and by the fact that I consider myself a decent person. I realize that obviously if someone, knocks on the door and asks for assistance, I have to do what I can for them, and I will do what I can for them. Most of us, myself included, are, packing away, squirreling away additional things, in preparation for the fact that people may very well show up. And, you don't want to send someone away empty-handed. So, obviously in addition to, prepping for ourselves, for our families, we pack away, just in general, as much stuff as possible with the understanding that, yeah, I mean, there's a possibility, more than likely, someone's going to show up and want help. So this is going to be a short, sweet video, short, sweet zombie video. There will be others, I'm sure. But, for those of you out there who do prep, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure you're probably packing stuff away like mad, just in preparation for anything that may come, be it, financial difficulties, economic, anything, whatever the reason is. I think it's a responsible thing to do. But we all realize, for those of us who, or for those out there who poo-poo the prepping community and prepping in general, we realize, myself included, that people are going to show up and they are going to require help. They're going to ask for assistance. They're going to, ask for food. So I, even in terms of medical supplies, pack away as much as I can, even if it's stuff that, I know that I'm not necessarily going to need. Like I'm not diabetic, but I do couponing. So, there have been times where I've gotten these machines, basically, that are designed to help people test and manage their blood sugar. And, they can be kind of costly. I think they're like $30, $40 a piece. but sometimes you can catch coupons for them and, get them for almost nothing. I'm a healthy person. I'm not a diabetic, but if someone shows up at my door who is, so it's little things like that, that we do, um, with the idea that, yeah, people are going to show up and you never know what their circumstances are going to be. Um, and, you may have to help them. We may have to help them because it's what we're obligated to do. Um, so, most people, when you hear them talking about, zombies or joking about zombies, they're not talking about someone who simply knocks on the door and asks for help. They're talking about people who are rude and nasty and who, are demanding and might possibly end up find yourself in a situation where they'll actually take something from you or home invade you. And, if it's a situation where you can't call, local authorities, like if there's civil unrest, yeah, I mean, local authorities are just not going to be able to get to you more than likely. Or if you, like a couple of people I know, are out in the middle of nowhere and someone happens to stumble upon your location, yeah, I mean, maybe the police would be able to get to you, but it's going to take some time because you're basically out in the sticks. You're in the middle of nowhere. So obviously in a situation like that, you have to find a way to get yourself out of that situation so that you don't become subject to someone with bad intentions. But for the most part, yes, for those out there who don't prep or who don't believe in it or whatever, or maybe taken aback by like zombie jokes or whatever that you see me pin or some of my pins on my Second Amendment thing, take it with a grain of salt. When you hear other preppers talk about zombies, take it with a grain of salt. It's a colloquial term used amongst preppers and people in the prepping community, and it's a joke. Basically, it's an ongoing joke. So no one's going to show up asking for assistance or food and get shot, for God's sake. That's absolutely insane. Yeah, that's batshit crazy. So I guess that's it. This is a more lighthearted video. Hopefully this is short and thorough enough explanation of what exactly I mean by that and what is meant by that and what other preppers perhaps mean by that. And the Second Amendment pins and the fact that just in general, I think I might have mentioned zombies in my last video or whatever. So hopefully that clears that up, and hopefully it clears up a question I got on my inbox on YouTube regarding this matter. So, okay, this is it. Ta-ta.